Are you normal?
Number 1. Have you ever called in sick when you weren't sick?
You know, I've never actually called in sick to work when I wasn't sick, but every year, sort of at the school sports carnival, I developed something of a mysterious illness. The interesting thing was one year I actually was involved in a bit of a motorcycle accident and I actually had actual physical ailments that prevented me from attending that year. It was quite unusual, quite unexpected, really.
Number 2. Have you ever had or planned to have cosmetic surgery?
Have I ever had or planned to have cosmetic surgery? Do you think I need it? These chiseled features? No, I haven't had it. I hope I don't need it. And I don't think I'd get it even if I did need it, because I have this general fear of people slicing my skin up. Not really a big fan of the whole piercing thing or the pain involved in tattoos. But that's just me.
Number 3. What hangs on your refrigerator door?
What hangs on my refrigerator door? That's an interesting question. Magnets, pictures from my niece and nephew, or probably mostly my nephew. I don't think my niece is really drawing much at the moment. She's still a bit young. And a lot of those magnetic calendars that you get from, especially from real estate agents. I don't know why. I guess they think if you put that on your fridge, you'll think of them instantly when you want to actually sell your house.
Here's a special Easter week question. About how many eggs do you eat per month?
How many eggs do I eat per month? Probably about 3 to 5.
Number 5. Do you play sweepstakes, lotteries, or enter contests?
I don't play sweepstakes, lotteries, or enter contests. Not really much of a contest fan myself.
Number 6. Do you ever spit outside?
I have in the past. And there's a really interesting anecdote I could insert here, but for my own personal dignity, I won't.
Number 7. Have you ever had an out-of-body experience, seen a ghost or U.F.O?
Never had an out-of-body experience. Never knowingly seen a ghost. Haven't actually run into a U.F.O, but they are all sort of 3 things that I have had great interest in the past, and I've read many books. My favourite author, John A. Keel, actually writes a lot about the paranormal and UFOs especially, and I find it really fascinating, and I have actually spoken with a number of people who have seen things or thought they've seen things or experienced something of some description, and they're all very earnest. They don't like to second guess people, to be honest, but personally I haven't had any of those experiences myself.
Number 8. Have you ever taken music lessons or played in a band?
Never had music lessons, not in any traditional sense of the word. I went to great lengths to actually teach myself how to read written music and find my way around a keyboard, and I've written a number of songs in my time. I haven't done any of that lately, and somebody was asking me about that last night, but sort of hung up my musical aspirations for a little while to pursue other things. Now this is a tricky question. I haven't played in a band, and that is actually what this question asked. I've never played in a band. I did have a band, but it was probably more of a fictional band in the sense that we never actually got together and played our instruments, although I did a lot of planning in anticipation of that happening, but of course it never did.
Number 9. What do you do to unwind?
when it comes to unwinding, I do a number of things. It sort of depends on my mood and the time of day and what the day's been like in general. I'm a pretty intense individual. I'm very serious at times, perhaps a little too serious. I need to lighten up. When I do need to lighten up, I like to have either my good mate Mel Brooks on standby. That's the History of the World Part 1. Very, very funny man. Actually, a number of my friends, especially people I went to school with, have recently expressed a feeling that they don't even find him all that funny, which just completely baffles me. I've always been a big fan of Mel. A lot of my friends are sort of more Monty Python people, but I support Mel all the way. I reckon Mel's awesome. Jewish entertainers are always very, very funny. I don't understand specifically what it is. It may just be a mere coincidence, but I love sort of this Jewish humour, and I'll probably get all kinds of weird, wonderful comments after saying something like that. Another personal favourite of mine is Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. She's always great value, as I like to say. The other thing I like to do is just come home and listen to music. I love music. I love Sophie B. Hawkins, and if you know anything about me, you've probably been bored to death with stories about Sophie B. Hawkins. And I'm going to do my best to spare you from one of those right now. But the one thing I really do love to do, sort of, just to unwind, is really, I love to come home and listen to Chet Baker. I love Chet Baker. I've only really been familiar with his music for maybe a year, and I struggle to imagine what my life was like before that time. It's so bizarre. There's this one song in particular called I believe it's called Little Man, You've Had a Busy Day, and I like to just sit back and relax and sort of melt into my chair after a very exhausting day and pretend that he wrote that song for me, because it's my favourite. Lovely guy. Anyway, so that's been my attempt at playing the 4th round of a lovely little thing called Are You Normal? Your host has been Suburban Mum. Hope this has been educational, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.